And we're on. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is one of the pioneers of bachata in Europe, all the way back in 2008, 2007, you name it, or even further than that. She was the co-founder of the first bachata festival in Belgium, which was Bachatando. I know you're probably going to correct it, Bachatiando. No, they just name it Bachatando. That's just the way it is. Deal with it, okay? But please welcome Nanda Castillo. How are you?
Good. I'm very happy to be here with you tonight.
How are you? Are you in Brussels?
Yes, I am in Brussels.
Okay. And how is Brussels going?
I have to tell a lot of things, but I will start with something for you, Rodney.
Okay. All right.
I have a small surprise for you. I will just ask you if you can recognize this song live for you from Brussels. Ready? Go.
Okay. Who would forget that song?
It's totally live for you. I'm not playing, but now we can start dancing, right?
Now who's playing there, man? Show his face. At least we can say hello.
Rodney.
No, I'm not gonna say. Dame tu amor para toda la vida.
Okay.
Mentiras. I forgot the lyrics already, but the reason she played that, ladies and gentlemen, is because not only I sang that at the second Reno Bachata Festival with News Band, I also sang it at Bachatando. What year was that?
2009, I guess.
Yeah, I sang it at Bachatando also. You have to realize that I don't speak Spanish, ladies and gentlemen. I understand a little bit, as long as you don't speak fast, but I don't speak Spanish. So it took me a day to memorize the lyrics, or actually I read it on my phone. It took me a day to pronounce the songs, because it's one thing to pronounce it and speak it. It's another thing to read it, because when you read it, it's a little confusing. But
we have to say that even if you're not speaking Spanish, you are singing very well.
Yeah, because I'm Filipino. The accent and the tone of the Spanish language is the same as Filipino Tagalog language, and where my family is from, it's called Pangasinan. Pangasinan is very different from Tagalog. There are many dialects in the Philippines, right? Pangasinan is very Spanish. The way we count is not, Tagalog is isa, dalawa, tatlo. But in Pangasinan, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Even when we go to the bathroom, we call it baño. Same thing, So that's why we pronounce it. The R is very similar to pronouncing it in Filipino. But to those of you who doesn't know, Nanda Castillo was in Dominican Republic for a while, right?
Yes, I just came back like a month ago. So you were asking me how was the thing in Brussels. So I'm back here since August. I was doing my coronavirus in Dominican Republic. So I went there for 3 weeks and finally I stayed 5 months.
Yeah.
So I was in Las Terrenas mainly, and I traveled a bit to Bonao. So I came back to Brussels, and well, things are like it is. I mean, not easy for anyone. I started teaching beginning of September again, and well, we're trying to manage the situation the best as we can. It's not easy, but we're here. We still.
Yeah. What were you doing in the Dominican Republic?
What I did, I did something very interesting. So I tried to use the time that I got to create something, or at least to help Juan Pablo, who have the biggest school in Las Terrenas, which is Alianza de Encerrede. And of course, he was in trouble because of that. I was alone almost, and I was like a bit lost. So I wanted to do something. So we create Bachata Formula 1, 2, and 3, which
Wow.
is
Okay.
which is a bachata online program that we did together in Las Terrenas. And basically we record, I don't know, 70 videos, I guess. And it gives the opportunity to people to learn online. So basically you, in the Bachata Formula 1, you have 1 video per day. So you have 30 minutes of basic fundamentals. And then we have 2 and 3, and we launched that together just because we needed, and it was important at that moment to still like doing something. And so we work there. I work also with 2 festivals online. And well, at least I did that. And also, well, I enjoy Dominican weather. I start playing ukulele, and well, this is what I did for 5 months. So it was necessary for me to be busy, and especially with bachata. I have to say that I spent 5 months in Dominican without dancing, because none of the clubs, everything was closed. So it's the first time that I spent 5 months in Dominican Republic without dancing even once. So it was difficult, but
yeah. Now, prior to that, before that, though, you did some work in the Dominican Republic at some type of a nonprofit type of program for kids, right?
I'm still working a bit with that organization, with the Dream Project. So I was teaching there for a couple of weeks, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. So yeah, I was teaching in the Dream Project, and well, my husband, who was playing for you, was one of the main teacher of the academy. So he teach there, and this is where I met them. And,
What's the purpose of that program, by the way, if you don't mind telling us?
No. So the Dream Project have a special part of the Dream Project is the Bachata Academy. So the Bachata Academy is providing hours and hours of musically classes. So kids can learn from 4 to 16 how to play bachata. So they learn musicality, they can choose to play guitar, they can choose to play bass, they can choose to play, they have classes after their usual school. They can go to the academy, and they receive like a kind of education. So they have kind of responsibility, because the academy is providing them an instrument. Let's say that they can provide a guitar to the student, and they can start playing guitar, and they are followed by very, very good teachers. So Ricky was teaching there. Now Martínez is teaching there. So you know Martínez de León, who made almost all the most famous album, Monte Alejandra, Zacarias Ferreira, almost all the last album of Romeo was made by him. And is teaching now in the Bachata Academy, Abelito Bongo, which is also part of the history of the bachata, because it's one of the best bongo players. He is teaching there. And so I teach dance and scene expression. I don't know if I can say that in English, like how to be on scene, how to express yourself, how to move, or to be like relaxed, and so on. So yes, this is a very, very nice project, and I'm still working a bit with them, because I am in contact with some of the students. And so yeah, it's something very, very good, and it's in a very small town in Dominican Republic, in Cabarete. So a lot of people want to, sometimes when they travel, they want to go, they want to discover this, and they maybe imagine like a big school, but in fact, school, it's like a quite small house, and you have 2 different rooms. And well, this is a special atmosphere, and I really enjoy to be there. And I mean, this is a very nice project. So if you want to help them, you can always go to Dream Project, and you can find all the information about that. You can.
What's the website? Dreamproject.com or what?
Yeah, basically it's a US organization. So they're based in New York. I know that they have
Is it one of the founders is Benjamin, right?
Benjamin Demenil is yeah, president of Yazoo Record, and it's the founder of the Bachata Academy.
Kudos to Benjamin. I hung out with Benjamin one time when I visited Juan Soriano in New Mexico, and at that time, Benjamin and what do you call they made an album with all of the legendary bachateros. What was the album?
Bachata Legends, Bachata Roja.
Bachata Roja. So Bachata Roja team and Juan Soriano went on a tour, and they were in New Mexico. And so at that time, I wanted to bring Juan Soriano to Reno, or
Yeah.
to the Bay Area, right? And so one way for me to get acquainted with the artists is get to know them. So, and I flew there. I visited them in Albuquerque, Mexico, New Mexico, by the way, not Mexico, New Mexico, and that's how I met Benjamin. We were hanging out. All of the legends were there. Elidio was there. And then we rode the van together going to Santa Fe. So that was quite a crazy conversation. They called me Japonero, by the way, even though I kept telling them, no, I'm Filipino, man. I was like, no, yeah, Japonero. They still call me Japonero. But those were one of the best memories I had, because back then Benjamin was even cooking Dominican food in the hotel to feed the Dominicans. But those were the days. Yeah. Nanda, my fun memories of you is, of course, not only at festivals, but my favorite memories is two, actually. One, when we were teaching at Lithuania, and the first Bachata festival in Lithuania. God, that was a long time ago, probably 2010. I think it's probably 2010, right? A long time ago. Those were fun memories. And then, of course, your very first Bachata festival in Brussels in Belgium, which is Bachatando.
Yeah.
It is still one of my top 5 Bachata festival in the world. Of course, that's no longer the case, but how did you came about creating that festival? What was your thought process? What was going through your mind?
Well, at that moment, back 2010, and it's good for people maybe that don't know this part of my story now to listen to that. At that moment, 10 years ago, guys, me, RODCHATA, and some of us were working and fighting to have more bachata in our dancing. I was dancing salsa, of course. Roddy was dancing salsa. Camille was dancing tango. Elizondo was dancing tango and bachata and a couple of other things. So we were few in the world doing that and having a strong passion, I guess, at that moment for bachata. Not only dance, but culture, music. And we wanted to share that with people. And maybe at that moment, not a lot of people were believing in that bachata or this new music or this music who was like behind or after the salsa. Like, you start doing salsa, you can do a bit of bachata. It was like, you can do a bit of this, or maybe you can try a bit of that. It was not something like people wanted to really promote. So we were like the founders because we wanted to promote that. We wanted to let people know, okay, I'm doing bachata. What is bachata? What can you do with bachata? How can you dance bachata? No, you do not have just to do 1, 2, 3 and that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4 and that's it. You can have a lot of things, and there is like a story behind this dance music. There is like a lot of things to learn, and we're a bit like alone, lost in Europe or in US. We were like all of us were in different part of the world. And we just came like one day, I was like, okay, I'm like tired that everybody's telling me, yeah, bachata is like an easy step, and then you just do this like this. I was like, no. So I really want to tell people what it is. what is about, what is the culture, why we like the music. Okay, we do not have just 3 songs. There is an history behind that. There is like more than 40 years of music. So we have to learn. And how we learn is like reading books, going to Dominican, meet each other. So we need to like make a big, well, say festival, like a big meeting with all of us and share with people. Let's try. And this is how we start, not believing that it's gonna be like today, it's gonna be like you know how we are. But at the beginning, it was was the idea. Like share with people and just let them know, okay, this is what we are talking about. Come and share with us. Understand what is the music, and finally, what is bachata.
Yep. And the thing is, not too many people know in Europe and the world, there were only a few of us who was promoting bachata, and there were only a few of us who thought of a crazy idea of having a bachata congress. He thought it was crazy. Of course, it was a little different because in the United States, we do it at a hotel. In Europe, they do it at different location, and then there is a hotel. It has to be different location because we all know that having an event in Europe and dealing with hotels is very hard. It's almost impossible to deal with all hotel management and all of that stuff. But at that time, Belgium with Nanda, and then she had a partner named Gregory at that time, and they were really big in the scene. For UK, it was Tony Lara for Sexy and Sensual. And he even had another festival in Italy, right? Tony had a festival in Italy also. Georgia Sarunas and her husband did it in Lithuania. And Artur Bachaturo, if you've ever wondered why he named Bachaturo, is because that's his name, Arturo, really. Did it in Poland.
Yeah.
Peter and Christine did it at Sweden. They did it at Sweden. Just to let you know, we were all there, okay? In all of the festival. And another person I almost forgot is Marcela Cardenas, did it in Sweden also because Stockholm, that's where Marcela did it. And Peter and Christine, what town is it? What's the other town in Sweden?
I don't remember where they did it. It's not with the A, something like.
It's not in Stockholm, that's for sure. And then we have in Finland, we have the Embajador de la Bachata. He called himself that. I forgot his name. What's his name?
Bessa.
Oh my God! How could I forget Bessa's name? He is such a character. I will never forget that man. It's like, so we did it in Finland also. So we did it everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I haven't even mentioned the United States, but we did it everywhere. And Nanda was part of the origination, if we were to call it that, of bachata festivals in the world. Now, you did it for 4 years, right?
3.
Did it for 3 years. That's where I want to thank you, Nanda, for inviting me there because that's where I met Frank Santos.
Yeah.
To this day, I'm a fan of Frank Santos because you can instruct him for an hour, he will learn the dance and he will do it better than you. Whether it's Dominican style or sensual, he will do it better than you. The guy's got swag, he's Dominican, you know. I met Artur there for Bachaturo. I met Gidra Sarunas, you know, from Lithuania. All of the people that I mentioned to you, I met them there. You know, I even met Julie Cam was there. She used to dance. And then Selena also, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Arawi, I can't forget that. Arawi also was there because he was one of the performers in that boat.
Yeah, and we were the first to bring Troy and Georgette, Carlos Cinta, Adam Taube,
Juan Soriano, might as well.
And also Alan Touch was just Taka and Alemana who came for the last edition. We had a lot of people coming to this festival. a lot of people who are usually teaching now, a lot of teachers start coming to this festival, and they learn.
Was Pablo Vilches at Bachatando at that time?
I don't know.
I don't
I think
remember if Pablo was there.
maybe yes. I know that a lot of people who are now teaching or are organizing events and stuff were at the festival. Yeah.
Frank at the end also, Frank CPH from Copenhagen was there also at the festival.
Yeah.
I remember Frank. So there was that event, there was that venue that you rented, which was awesome. There's that big ballroom there, and there's the balcony overlooking the bar. Me and Frank were hanging out, we're drinking beer, right? It's like, Rodney, look at all of those people there. I was like, they're not dancing the right bachata. It's like, you at least you dance some. That's when I got to know Frankie.
Well, they were dancing the right bachata. Well, at least it was something in between we can still call bachata, right?
Yeah.
No, but it was very nice moment, and a lot of work, of course, but we spent all good times doing that. And I mean, these are very nice memories for me. And I mean, this is also why I'm still teaching today. And this is also why I travel a lot. And this is also thanks to you, Rodney, that I went to US and I teach, and I went to San Francisco, the city, my first city, the city that I love in US. And I had the chance at that moment to travel a lot and to spend time with people who were passionate as me, and also sharing with a lot of people who were discovering at that moment bachata. So
Did you decide to embark on when you dance bachata first, Nanda? When you dance bachata, were you dancing the way you knew how, just like a modern type? It wasn't traditional yet. And when did you decide to embrace the traditional bachata?
It was after a trip that I did to Dominican Republic.
Of course.
Yeah, because I was dancing, as you say, more moderna. I wasn't dancing traditional. Like maybe I was doing a bit of fusion, but it was moderna. I can call it moderna. And I traveled to Dominican Republic, and I remember very well. I was in Santo Domingo, and we went to a club, and I was with a group of ladies, and we were seated. Of course, I know how to dance, but that day I was not dancing. And I saw a couple, quite a old couple, dancing on the dance floor, and they were like floating, you know, like. And I was looking at them. I was like, wow, I like that. I want to do that. I mean, this is the thing that I like. And when I started looking at them, I was like, okay, I guess bachata, maybe I can do some stuff. At that moment, I remember also bailadores de bachata, that a lot of people don't know about that, but this was my inspiration.
It's hard to search that video anymore in YouTube. Back then, where there were just a few bachata videos, you could actually search it easily on YouTube.
Yeah, and those were my favorites. And when I was looking at those videos, for me it was even difficult to understand what a triple step was. Like I was looking at them like, what are they doing? I didn't understand what they were doing. And after this trip, I came back here in Brussels, and this is when I told to Gregory, look, we're doing bachata, but I want to do this bachata. And now I want just to do this, and I don't want to do anything else. Of course, it was not like a transition, like from this to that.
Yeah.
We did it smoothly.
Slowly,
like,
yeah.
Moderna, with putting a bit of more of traditional. We were mixing a bit more the things, but finally, now that I'm teaching alone for a couple of years now, I'm really doing that.
Yeah.
And I won't say that I'm not dancing moderna, because if I have to dance moderna in a party or whatever, or if you ask me to teach moderna, I can, of course.
Of course.
But what I like is this, and what I learn from the culture, the people, and all the people that I work with, that I learned from after this, was, okay, this is my thing. I don't know if, I think that as dancer, you know that you have interview of quizomberos and salseros and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if you choose the dance that you will do, or if this dance choose you at the end.
That, in my opinion, the dance choose you.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
I didn't choose to be a bachatera. It's
Yeah.
like bachata called me, Nanda, you are into this. And when I start dancing traditional, I was like, okay, this is my thing. And this is where I feel that I can create. I feel I can create my own stuff. I feel the music, I feel the moves, I understand what it's about. And this is why I can talk about it. This is why I can teach now musicality, history. This is why I meet so many people, so many interesting people. And yeah, this is how I became the tradicional.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if you look back at our old videos on YouTube, they're probably still there. You would
Yeah,
see me and Nanda dancing to what we knew about bachata. I believe in Vilnius, Lithuania, but you could still trace a lot of bachata steps there, even though we weren't strictly dancing traditional. You could tell we weren't doing the traveling stuff, you know, like the moderna salsa-ish or salchata as they call them. We weren't doing that already. So it was understandable and obviously kind of like a smooth transition from us dancing like that to dancing Dominican or quote unquote Dominican. It was very easy for us. Oh, this makes more sense, you know.
yeah, that's the real way of doing the things. Finally, yeah, no, it was really easy. And I mean, I do not have problem, or I do not regret to have started with something else. I mean, for me, I'm always saying like I'm not like the one who will tell, oh, you are doing things like this is bad or it's wrong. You know, it's like do what you feel. If you feel that you're more into this or into that, okay. I found my thing, and I'm happy to have done what I did before, and I'm happy to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I mean that's, you know, definitely we can discuss that all day as far as the differences of the styles of bachata and why some people like certain style and why some people don't like other styles. But is there any plan to do bachatando again? Because I know I already told you, look, if you want to do bachatando, I will partner up with you. And this time
Yeah.
I want to do it in a hotel though. You got scared, didn't you?
Well, well, at the moment, it's like the crisis everywhere, so it's gonna be complicated to have
Yeah.
this kind of project. But I will say yes, because why we didn't had after this festival, we never had another bachata festival here in Belgium, a real one.
Not to mention now we've learned so much about
Yeah, I think that now
promoting
we,
the culture, promoting the dance. Uh,
yeah,
we are well connected with the bachateros now, and so I think that it's probably easier to do it now.
yeah.
I mean, Nanda, you know, if we're just gonna be partners like this, if you don't mind a third partner, then anybody who's interested, tell Nanda.
No, but it's true that now it's much more easier than 10 years ago.
Yeah,
We have a lot of support. We have a lot of teacher, dancers, a strong community now that they are able to travel. Well, in the normal times, they can travel and they are really passionate about that. It was not the case 10 years ago. So now I believe that we can do something good, better, bigger, maybe.
yeah.
Um, yeah, of course.
Well, you've been in the Dominican Republic many times, and you've been there long enough than anyone else. Okay, so I gotta ask you this serious questions because every time I went to Dominican Republic, it was short lived. It's either 1 week or 2 weeks. That's it, and then I leave again. You know, but
Yeah.
you like almost a year you're there, or even years for crying out loud. So I'm curious about this. We all know that we all started when we didn't know what traditional bachatas. We did the traveling side to side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Now, every time I was in the Dominican Republic, no one was doing that. No one. Now tell me, is anyone doing that now in the Dominican Republic?
I'll say no in the social normal life.
Right, but with instructions, I see it a lot. These Dominicans are doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They stole that from YouTube.
My yes will go for the dance schools, the Dominicans teacher and the dance schools, because they start basically all the schools in Dominican and all the teachers, and I'm talking about very good teachers and
Yeah.
friends, so I'm saying nothing bad, but they almost start learning salsa because they all know to dance bachata, of course. And for them, as they start teaching salsa or learning salsa, normally mambo on two,
Yeah.
they wanted to learn the bachata that they don't know. What is the bachata that they don't know is the bachata from US, and I'll mention again Ataca la Alemana, like a reference. So what they do, it's basic like this way.
Yeah, they do traveling stuff. That's actually they really the one who popularized bachata moderna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not because they teach this way that they cannot teach or dance the other way. It's just like for them, it's like the bachata for the schools, and they start doing this. But I will say that I never saw anyone dancing like this in none of the
social setting. Like let's say our friend Rodolfo, okay? Rodolfo teaches. I saw his video teaching side to side, right? Traveling side to side. But when you see him social dancing, you'll never see him do that.
that because he's adapting himself to the people that are coming, and they start like this because this is what people from outside the island are used to. So they start like this just to keep comfortable, and they do like, okay, you know this, we'll start with this. Then they are quite switching quite
Yeah.
to the
But
normal.
not until 20, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know this, not until 20, let's say 2009, no, 2008, first Bachata Festival, 2009, USA Festival, 2010, and then I'd say about 2013, I started strictly basic stuff on bachata doing box step.
Yeah.
I'm the one who started that really early, and every time I did the basic step, the very first step I teach is box step, not side to side. Never did. I did that before, and Nanda, Dominicans dance salsa differently, and I'm talking about not the expert, not the teachers. Some teachers really dance on two or on one, but socially, Dominicans dance. So you remember us when we were teaching in Santo Domingo? We taught, ladies and gentlemen, me and Nanda taught on two in Santo Domingo. Some people walked out because they could not get it.
Okay, I try to understand how they dance.
Yeah.
I asked to some of my friends, can you show me?
It's like half-assed Colombian steps.
A kind of box step,
Yeah.
but the stretch are the wrong way. So I was like always trying to follow, and at what point I was like, okay, no, this is not like this. And
it's so all over the place, just like when they dance bachata. There's no timing there. It's all over the place.
yeah. Now, if you're a good follower, after one or two dance, it's fine. You can start understanding how they do it. But I didn't found, except Rodolfo, who was able to explain me a bit. Nobody was able to tell me, okay, this is the basic salsa Dominican step. No.
Yeah.
They all will try.
Right now, the legit people that I know when I watched them dance salsa was Rodolfo, Severino. You remember Severino? Severino, he was strictly dancing on two also. Rodolfo was dancing on one. And there were others there, like some females, Dominicana, that were dancing salsa also. That was good. But yes, we taught in Santo Domingo salsa, and then we taught one bachata class there too, because there were some foreigners there at the very first bachata festival in Dominican Republic, which was hosted by Vesa and myself. That was, I think, you know what? I think there were many people that were there. I think Sammy was there in the first Bachata festival. I didn't get to know him. I didn't get to shake his hand or whatever because I didn't know anybody at that time. I was just there producing and teaching.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was quite interesting to go back at that time and to think about what we did at that period, in Dominican, in Europe, or in US, and all the things that make what the scene is now possible. And we weren't thinking about what was bad or wrong. We were just trying to make this grow.
Yeah.
And we never expect to have what we have now, of course.
You know, one of the things that I probably didn't tell you the story, the behind the scenes when Vesa and I were preparing the festival, we went there, we visited the hotel. We went there, we visited the hotel. I called around hotels because I was the one who's into hotels, and Vesa is just a European style of what you guys do at that. But that, at then, and I insisted, Vesa, we gotta have a hotel, man. So I called. It's like, what is it? It's gonna be a bachata festival. It's like, no, we don't have any space here. And you know, I had an epiphany one night. It's like, we should not call it bachata festival because some people in the capital really don't like bachata. You know, I was like, okay. So I called some hotels again. Hey, what kind of festival is it? It's like, it's gonna be Latin dance festival. I was like, okay, we may have some space for you. It's like, damn, dude, what the hell is going on? You know, and when we the very first day, what was Wednesday, when we landed there, we went to Hotel Intercontinental. That's where the festival was. So we went to Hotel Intercontinental, and they said, why don't you just do salsa? Are you guys crazy? No one is gonna show up for bachata, they said. So that's when you know the difference between the barrios and the provinces and the capital. Because you go to clubs in capital, at least from what I have observed when I was there many times, in the old days, they play reggaeton, some merengue, and that's it, you know?
Well, they have now special clubs for salsa. They have the On Two Club, which is very famous.
Oh, now, huh? Excuse me.
They have the Mambo Club also, not for the mambo of the merengue, but for the mambo of the salsa. So they have special salsa clubs, and you still have a strong community of salseros in the capital, and a lot of people who are not specially dancing bachata. And in those clubs, they're almost never putting bachata.
No, they don't. Fidel can tell you that because I saw Fidel from Grupo Extra, the manager of Grupo Extra. He said, you guys are like sensationalizing bachata in USA and Europe. Like it's something, you go to the Dominican Republic, no one is dancing it. It's like, you know, some people didn't believe it, but I've seen it, you know.
Depending where you are, in fact, but this is true. In some places, you are not dancing bachata, and you don't have to be surprised to come in the capital and find some clubs who are going to play son, Dominican son, and only son, because they are all soneros, and they will play son for all night. And you have places where you can dance only salsa, and you have places where they put everything.
Most not discrediting the dancers then, but most soneros had that attitude of the soneros in United States or Europe also. They looked down on bachata back then. Most soneros looked down on bachata, but look at it now, you know.
Yeah. Well, now I was not dancing Dominican son at that moment. Now
nice. Yeah.
I do, and I was not especially dancing bolero, and now I do. So I can enjoy more everything. Like if I can dance bachata, I'm happy. But if they put me a son, and if I found a nice sonero, I'll be pleased and I will enjoy this dance also, because
it's pretty interesting that in 2009, Vesa really emphasized bolero there at his first festival in Finland. In Tampere. And I got to dance it a lot because not too many people play bolero songs at that time. They probably didn't even know what bolero was, you know, but But now
But
it's all coming back
if I
because
remember well,
we love the very main song, which is bachata. It's coming back. Bolero, merengue, even the traditional music of merengue is coming back, and all of that, and which is I appreciate a lot because look, if you love bachata, then you gotta love merengue, you gotta love bolero, or
yeah.
even the traditional Dominican song for that matter. You know,
Yeah, no, and it's plus it's like you can enjoy not especially the dance, but just the music. It's
the
something
music,
different.
the hanging out. After all, what was the original meaning of bachata? Partying,
Yeah,
jamming. It wasn't about the music, which was not called bachata at that time. It wasn't about the dance, which was not called bachata at the time. The
yeah.
party is called bachata, ladies and gentlemen, where they played reggaeton, son, salsa, merengue, you know.
Picada,
And
just sing, drink,
yep,
Brugal, Ron.
and what do they used to call that music? Música de amargue. That's what they called it. They didn't call it bachata.
No, they
That's why.
didn't. And you know what? I learned like 1 or 2 months ago only because I didn't know that. Woo, I like it's not 100% sure, but who puts the name of bachata to
Mm,
the bachata?
mm.
Was Edilio who told me that because I was talking with him about on the phone in Dominican, and I tell him, look, there is something that I don't know, and maybe you know, because this is my Bible. By the way, people who are looking at this, when I'm teaching history and when I talk about bachata, it's not because I know everything from, I learn from everybody, Ronnie included, but in Dominican Republic, one of my very good friend is Edilio Paredes,
Yes, of
and
course.
you have almost 70 years old, but is one of my friends. And when I have a doubt or when I don't know something, I call him or I text him on WhatsApp. And he's the one who can tell me almost always, okay, Nanda, this, and that. Then when I call, I have for 30 minutes at least. But he can always tell me a story and he can always tell me. And the last one was this. He told me, you know, nobody was calling this bachata. We were playing something, but even us, we didn't call it bachata.
Yeah, no.
Day at the television, the the guy who was doing the TV show just present the band and tell them, okay, this is this, and that, and they were doing bachata. And this is the first one who tell them you are doing bachata. And after this, it stays, and they start calling it bachata.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you. I mean, you know, when Nino Acosta interviewed Idelio Paredes, I was there. You know, the reason you didn't see me is because I was the one holding the camera, you know. uh, and so he was interviewing, say, and the most quote that I've ever picked up from him in Spanish version is, bachata is bolero, bolero is bachata. That's what he said. I was like, all right, those dancers, we didn't call them bachata dancers. We called them dancers from San Cristobal, dancers from La Vega. We never called them bachata dancers, he said. You know?
no, but this was something interesting to know also, you know, that we didn't call bachata bachata
No,
at the beginning at all, and it's not like someone starts playing in the studio and say, okay, I will record a bachata. No, it was not like this.
there was
So
no name for it. The only name they could call it is describe it by saying música de amargue.
yeah, well, this is part of the history, and it's kind of a nice history, I must say. That's what I'm still learning, and I read a lot of books. You know, there is not a lot of books to read,
No,
and I read the books. I don't especially like all the part of those books, and I don't especially agree with everything, having different opinion and different stories from people that I know that are part of the history. They're like not writing the history, but they're part of it. So, but I learn, and I'm still learning, and this is something very good about that. It's just like we still here, and I think it's very important for people who start bachata now, and I don't care of what bachata, that they try to understand at least a bit of why or what this is coming from, why we dance that in Europe or in US, or I don't know, in Japan they're dancing bachata. At
yeah,
least you have an idea from of the story or from where this is coming from. For me, it's very important. I mean, I cannot call myself or be like a bachata teacher, not knowing anything about what I'm teaching.
Yeah, there is. I mean, Nanda and I have been teaching for a long time, so we have this beginner class, then beginner students, we have intermediate students, we have advanced students, and we have the professional students, which means they can teach, they can perform, what have you. There's so many description on each category, right? Beginners, they're very open, they're willing to learn, they like to question everything, which is good, you know. Intermediate, it's probably the most dangerous level of learning, because when you become a intermediate, you already think you're advanced. You already think you can teach bachata. Okay, you already think you know all of the technique. This is the most dangerous level of learning. Then you get into advanced. Then the moment you get into advanced, you look back at basics. It's like, how could I improve my basics? You look back to the way your instructor teach, because once you get to advanced, you get the idea. It's like, I want to teach this someday. Then you become into the pro level. When you become a teacher in bachata, that's when you search roots, the origination of bachata, how it came to be, all of these things, because as much as possible, when you teach, you want to know your shit, you know, as they call it, right? But
at least something, right? Well, not everybody is like this, you know. I mean, we have surprises everywhere and all the time, and I mean, for me, it's important, and I learn all the time, and I learn from you, and I learn from Rodolfo, and I learn from a lot of people, and I'm happy when I can learn something from someone, and we teach a couple of times together,
yes.
and I like to do that because it's a new experience for me. Like every time that we teach and we do something, it's like, okay, oh, Rodney is doing that this way. Okay, I'm not doing that way, but we can understand each other. And finally, we did the thing well, knowing based on the structure, we can understand each other quite easily. And I know that Rodney doesn't like to prepare the class because when you know about the structure and when you understand the music and the feeling, finally we as followers are able to follow quite easily. So if we have to teach a beginner class, okay, 5 minutes before the class, it's enough just for me to have an idea about what we are doing. But we don't need to prepare the class because finally it's the way that you dance and it's always the same. We are not doing choreographies. That's what I'm telling also to the students.
Yeah.
When you learn really how to dance bachata, you just dance bachata. You don't need to learn a choreo of, oh, today I will show you 4 moves and you have to repeat those 4 moves. And basically, if you know your basic and if you know the essentials, you can create and do your own stuff. And even at the beginner level, it's
well,
possible.
especially in teaching traditional movements. When you teach traditional movements, you could finish it in half hour, just the basic of it. What's the materials left to do? And this is the reason why most of us, whether it's Edwin Ferreras, whether it's Carlos Cinta, whether it's Nanda, and some other great Dominican stylists, we teach concepts. We don't teach choreos.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just like Nanda said. Every time I teach with Nanda or Camille or anyone else, you know, they never ask me, what are we going to do, Rodney? Because they already know. I'm not preparing. I'm just teaching concepts. And I was like, oh, no, Nanda is there. Nanda is in front of me. And then I explain and she just follows and she just follows. That's, of course, when you teach with somebody, you want to make sure they're good they're good followers and teachers. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to get it. You know, you and Camille were really great assistant or co-teachers. As I can say, is that, man, you could follow every move we do. With concept, you go along with it, you know?
I even follow the famous wedge, not knowing.
The wedge. If you guys don't know the wedge, I created that move. It's on my second video, intermediate bachata, I believe. Second DVD, if it's still around.
Yeah, and the first time that Rodney tried to make the waves with me, I was like, what is going on?
But hey, they're doing that in Bachata Sensual now.
I know.
See,
Yeah,
there's a lot of movements that I did back then before me embracing the culture and tradition of bachata. I was dancing sensual and moderna. And so if
yeah,
you look at my old videos, you could see movements there, original moves that are
yeah,
now being danced, whether it's modern or sensual.
yeah. And you did. Normally, you were doing this with Camille a lot.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
This special move where she was like almost jumping on you, and she was like falling down. And I remember that one time she wasn't there, and you asked me to do it. I was like, "Are you sure about that?" And we have a picture of it.
We do. We have. Oh my God.
You are like holding me, and I'm like going down. I was like,
Oh my.
okay. And we did that. We did that together. Yeah.
We did. Oh my God. Me and Camille did 3 hours of dips and tricks
Yeah.
and a lot of sensual stuff in Warsaw, Poland.
Yeah.
We
In
did
Warsaw.
boot camp there. Yeah, 3 hours of that, nothing else. It
Yeah.
was heavy. So I hope that we do bachatando again, and that you are, I will be there. I'll help you with it, and if we need a third partner, that's not a problem. We just make sure that they love, bachata. But because bachatando, ladies and gentlemen, was the best when it comes to social dancing. The
Yeah.
workshop was, if you, I have one picture where hundreds of students in front of me, I was teaching, I don't know, that was a lot of people. That was bachatando, ladies and gentlemen. There was a lot of people willing to learn at the time. Huh?
Yeah. And it was the first one, I guess. This
I think it
beautiful.
was the first one, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it
It
was
was
the
the
first one.
first one,
But
and
you've invited big names there like Troy and Georgette, Frank Santos,
Tony Lara.
Ataka Alimana, and Tony Lara, of course. You know,
Gabriel Begonia.
you're yeah. Porno bachata.
Yeah. And the one when they asked me to put that on the program, I was like, do you have another name? Just because, it's like I don't know if it's let's just say we are not doing any porno bachata, it's just the name. Just put it, then we will have people. I was like, okay, then I told Gregory, just take the decision. I will see it in the program if you I didn't.
Let me tell you a story behind that. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabriel and Begonia, they're such performers, by the way. They're great performers. And then they created this name, Porno Bachata, I believe just for sensationalizing and advertising stuff, But
Yeah.
we were making fun of him when, after we taught our workshop and we look at the titles, I think it was Lee and I and some other teachers, we were looking at the bachata schedule like, what the fuck is Porno Bachata, dude? It's like, we were laughing. It's like, no one is going to show up with that workshop. And then when Gabriel and Begonia were teaching, it's like, dude, this crowd like this? And we all look at like that. So he kicked our ass, man.
Yeah, no, it's true. It works. It works. But they were smart enough. I mean, they use it in the right way.
Of course.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
we were all there. I mean, Noemi was there too. Noemi. You remember Noemi Cintron? Noemi Cintron or what?
Yeah, yeah,
They were part of your staff, I think. Yeah.
yeah.
Doing the
She was
interviews and all that stuff.
taking the people with you.
Yeah. So anyways, you've been to my festival, particularly San Francisco. I think the first time you've ever showed up in San Francisco, you couldn't stop shopping.
Well, no,
you guys were saying it's cheaper here than in Europe. It's true.
I mean, this is what I love the first San Francisco, because it was for me so different to be there in the US and being in a festival, an American festival, which is like completely another world. I
Totally
mean, for
different.
people who knows the festival in US, in Europe, this is not comparable. I mean, this is like completely two different ways. And for me, to be honest, at the beginning, I was a bit scared. I was like, wow, these people are like, really into it. They were like just not having fun. They were there for your class at time. They wanted to learn. They were really looking at you, asking questions and everything. And it was very, very interesting. And a lot of good dancers. Like,
Oh yeah,
I was not even able to believe that they were beginners. Like,
they were great dancers. Yeah.
like so well. And I was super impressed by the show. Like the show were amazing. I was not able to see that here in Europe. Like we do not have a so big scene. And I like this venue. I remember this hotel was not maybe the best one or the best neighborhood, but it was so well located that I was every day walking around, going to shops, looking at San Francisco, and I really love it. I mean, this was for me one of my best festival ever. And
That's the reason she loves it, ladies and gentlemen, because that time my festival was located in downtown San Francisco. So it's very convenient for all of them, to walk around.
And it was special, like, being in San Francisco, dancing bachata with all those people. It was crazy. Yeah. And
Yeah.
where I met a lot of people too.
A lot of people, a lot of teachers that were nobody then now have a big name,
Yeah, and very big organizer also now. But they were all starting there, and I really have like this feeling that we start all like growing with this event, and we follow finally all our ways. But at the end, this was like a kind of start for everyone. And well, I'm still in contact with a lot of people, and I do well. I came in San Francisco 2 years ago. Was the last time?
The anniversary, yeah.
Yeah, and no, it was not for the anniversary.
No, that was when all of the Dominicans were there.
and I came back to San Francisco. It was in the airport, and it was different, but I was happy to be there. I mean, the scene was completely different for me also, and the people, and it was not the same atmosphere. I must say that I prefer the one that we had 10 years ago, but still something special. And I hope that you will continue also. I mean, I will be pleased to come back to San Francisco, even we talk, because Rodney have festivals everywhere. He or this partners have festival everywhere, but I never went to Hawaii, and I told Rodney, yeah. I mean,
if we do Hawaii again, I want you to be there.
Come, no matter what. You know why? Because you know that I love to travel.
Yeah.
It's part of my job in the real life, and I love to dance and teach. And now, as we were like stuck like this, now I have one thing that I want to do, is share with people, travel, and dance.
Yeah.
And I don't care about anything else, because finally that's what makes me happy. And if I can move to Dominican and travel from Dominican everywhere, I'll do it. And finally, this is the best way to share your passion with people.
Of course, yeah, of course. I think that next year we're gonna be doing it in downtown San Francisco again for the 12th San Francisco Festival. And the one who organizes that now, Isidra is the one who's organizing, and not me, because I have other things to do. And so Isidra is really concentrated in organizing that festival on a 12th.
Yeah, and about that, I just have to say, for the one that they don't know Rodney, because maybe they know me, but they don't know him. This is the father of the bachata. Eh? This is the papa of the bachata. Because
look at me, I'm gray right here. Yeah. I forgot to dye my.
Who bring me to US is the first one who was doing a lot of stuff, and it's because of you that I start, and I had the possibility to travel a lot and spend time with people and know amazing people and teach in amazing place. And I teach in San Diego. We went to Mexico with Rodney. We went to Tijuana.
Oh my God, we went to Tijuana, huh? Oh my Lord, I forgot that.
When I saw the Mexican border, like gangster going to Tijuana, I always think to that woman, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
I forgot we went to Tijuana, man. Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of very, very good memories, not only for bachata, but also as friends. And
I hosted Nanda every time she comes to United States. I hosted Nanda many times for bachata boot camps. many
Yeah.
times. And if I was ever in Europe, all I have to do is call Nanda and say, Nanda, I'm in London. You think I could come to Brussels and do some workshops? She does the same thing. This is what, especially in that era, especially in that early parts of bachata, the people we became friends with, those are the people who we've sponsored each other as far as workshop whenever we're in their town. The thing about here, ladies and gentlemen, when you go to Europe, everything's close, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's an hour flight only or whether it's a 2-hour train, everything is there. And here in the United States, it's a little different, of course. You have to pick one city because the other cities is like 7 hours away, But the difference is that when it comes to like San Francisco, for example, no problem. We'll do boot camp for you. We'll sell it out. It will be sold out, because there's so many new students every time. San Francisco is known for being the healthiest dance scene when it comes to dancing, But Nanda, I really want Brussels and Bachatando to
To be,
rise up again. It's
well, maybe we should change the name.
Yeah, we could change the name,
The
We could
name.
we could
But
just we could change the name to Rufino Festival or something. I mean, or something like that. I mean, we could do that.
one of my main idea, if we have to do a festival again, will be to have legends in my festival. This is
I
really
agree.
what to
I
to
agree.
do and to have. And I really want to, now I have the opportunity to be more in the musical scene. I mean, I know a lot of musicians. My husband is musician, singer, producer, is working with a lot of
Oh yeah,
people. And
gonna be a good production, in my opinion. I told you, Nanda, several hotels have called me already from Brussels.
but
They've been
the
calling me.
idea that I have, it's really have some bachata legends, and I'm thinking first to Edilio Paredes, which is already okay. I already asked him, will you be able to come to Belgium, to Brussels? And he say, yes,
Of
I come
course.
when you want. And then make live music and make people enjoy, understand, and also learn and hear the stories from the one who made the story of
And then we could
bachata.
do musicality in its effect because Ricky can break it down with music and congas as well. And,
That, and
yeah.
it's inviting my apartment. I have 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah, you
5
got you got
guitars,
some there. You got some.
and I have bongos, I have guira, I have my ukulele. I start playing all of that, and I also have my maracas, and I have all the things. So I'm really now focused on trying to learn more about that. It's important for me to know more about music and how now a song is structured, how you record a song. And I had the chance again to be in this studio in Santo Domingo, and I was with this famous guy in the bachata industry, Alan Lechon, who is the engineer of sound of Juan Luis Guerra. And I was there with him recording for Joan Soriano, and I had the chance to spend.
You hang out with Frank Reyes also, right?
Yes, yes, because Ricky was the first second guitar of Frank Reyes during almost a year and a half, and I spent like 3 months touring with them
Yeah.
in Dominican, which was really hard for me. But yes, I did it, and now with Grupo Extra. Um, but I spent time with Luis Segura also, because Abelito was the bongo, and I was working at the school at that moment, so I went also with a lot of people there. I had the chance to meet the guirero of Anthony Santo, which is now the guirero of Frank Reyes,
Uh-huh.
and I teach him musicality because he's
Yeah.
guira, but he's not like, he's not knowing what he's doing. So I mean, I had the chance to have so many talk with so many people, quite interesting people, and I'm happy to have the chance to do that. And I have to say that every time, and I told that a lot, but it's true. It's really true, people. Every time that I go to the Dominican Republic, something special happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and every time I have new stories to tell and I have new experience, and I really enjoy and like that, and I like to share this with everybody because not a lot of people know all my story, and thanks to Rodney today, maybe you will a bit more, but I'm not this kind of people who likes to tell I did this, I did that, I'm this, I'm that, and Rodney called me the Bachata, Belgium Bachata Queen.
Sure.
And I didn't put my name, and I will never put this name for me, but he used it first, and when I read that I was like a bit like, oh, this is quite nice, and he told me that it's true, and I was like, okay, yeah,
No,
you
it's
have
true because some people, you know, like these people when they started bachata, they were when we started bachata, most of these young ones were still there in their diapers or probably in their mother's womb. But you know, history, that's just the way it is. You can't erase it. You're the pioneers of bachata in Belgium. There's no doubt about it. You're the one who started Bachata Festival there. You're the one who started doing boot camps for bachata and inviting bachata artists, not to mention bachata musicians as well. So you did all of that. And there's a lot of credit goes to you. And of course, you went all over the world teaching bachata also, not to mention teaching bachata in Dominican Republic. Not too many people can claim that, you know.
no,
So, um,
that's and
I mean,
I'm happy to have done this. You know, it's like it's not the end, but I think that after like almost 15 years teaching now, and almost 10 years, more than 10 years now, teaching only bachata, I'm proud of this, and I must say that I'm happy to share with people what I learned, and I still want it to learn and share with people. This is now, I think, the most beautiful thing that we can do when we reach a certain level, and when we have the chance to have seen all this movie. We want to see what's coming, but we want to be part of it also.
yep. And so I want to thank you, Nanda, for spending time with me. And this is one of the best way I could reconnect with my friends doing this, you know, because of the pandemic. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I would have never thought of this idea. But it's great because I get to talk to you and the friends that I made. And you're one, the close friend that I have in Europe. You know, London people also. There are several people that I'm friends with. Of course, Tony Lara, who's not in London anymore, it's in Australia now. But by the way, but look, where can they find you if they're interested in your private lessons or group classes or whatnot? What's your account?
So I create a couple of days ago my Linktree, so it's quite easy. And on Linktree, you have slash Nanda Bachata, and you have all the things. But basically, I'm Nanda Bachata everywhere. So
Nanda
on
Bachata everywhere, even on Instagram, I believe. Yeah.
Nanda Bachata and Bachata Nanda on Instagram, Nanda Bachata on Facebook. You have Nanda Bachata, also my Spotify playlist on
Hi,
Spotify.
excuse me. She's now doing playlist.
Yeah, because I have a lot of new artists and old artists, but I know a lot of new artists in Dominican, so I'm trying to help them also to promote their music.
Yeah.
Uh, so on Spotify, and my email is also nandabachata@gmail.com. So it's quite easy. You can put Nanda Bachata and you will find me.
Well,
And
Nanda, I hope we can see each other again and hang out, maybe here in the USA or maybe there in Europe. Who knows? You know, we have so many festivals going on now. Our friends are organizing festivals. I'm organizing festivals. So we have a lot of opportunity when this pandemic is over. Uh,
yeah, I
um,
hope that it will be like this. We don't know when we can start here in Europe. A lot of people are talking about April, but they are not sure about it. So until April, we are quite sure that we will not have any festival.
well,
But
my first festival next year is Reno Dance Expo in May, and then San Francisco on July, and then Silicon Valley Mambo Expo on October, and then the Dominican Expo on November next year, and then Bachata Expo in San Diego for New Year's Eve weekend.
So I can be on San Francisco and San Diego. And
Why not?
I tell you, I want to travel. So if I have
Why
to go
not?
I come. It's not red zone anymore. If I can travel to US, I will
Yeah, we'll
come.
see. We'll see what happens because I know that after this presidential election, everything will change. So we'll see what happens.
You have this problem also.
We always do.
Yeah, well, today here, we still not having any government. You know that my beautiful Belgium country is the but still it's we have the record without government, so we still not have any government here. So no, but they change a bit the rules, so now they are quite be a bit more flexible from the 1st of October, but we still not really
Ladies and
able.
gentlemen, if you ever have a vacation in Europe, make sure, let's say you go to UK, London, make sure you go to Belgium,
Yeah.
Brussels particularly, because once you go to Brussels, you could also take the train to Netherlands, you know.
Yeah.
You could
Then we
also,
have very good dancers in
yeah,
Netherlands.
you could take the trains to Paris, you know.
Yeah.
And so
To
you could do all of these things, but you have to go to Brussels because there's this shopping corner there. There's a shopping corner and you could spend all day there shopping, but make sure you buy a beer because if you've never tasted Belgian beer, you gotta taste beer. And then you gotta go to this corner. I don't know if they're still open. You gotta get, we call this in United States French fries, but it's not. They don't call it French fries there. Don't ever call it there. And it's so good. It's so different. It's different than French fries they make in USA.
Yeah.
I remember when you took us there in Camille, it's like, what is this? Like, this is French fries. Like, no, don't call it French fries.
And
And
also,
of course, Belgian chocolate.
yeah, and the waffles. Do you remember?
Oh my God, yes. There's so many things I missed there, man. Many things. Particularly food. Oh, what about the corner where we usually go to when we want to drink? And you know, I like coffee with rum.
Ah, the
Yeah.
Irish coffee. Yeah.
Irish coffee. Oh my God, because ladies and gentlemen, every time I go anywhere, I would order Irish coffee because they do it differently. This store, I mean, you're talking about like a Belgian chocolate with alcohol.
Yeah, that's true. No, but yeah, the food here is quite good, and you can entertain yourself like a day just eating and drinking everywhere.
We're just hanging out at the what do you call it, the palace? That
Like,
area?
Plus,
Yes.
what you were saying? Yeah, because Rodney stay in the corner of the Grand Place. I
Oh
found
my
it
God.
a nice apartment. Well, the neighbors were a bit special, but they were like it was like basically at 1 minute of the Grand Place. And
I will never forget where Nanda got an apartment for me at the Grand Place, at the Grand Palace. Are you talking? Are you crazy? That's at the Grand Palace, guys. I think if you look at my Facebook, I still have a video of that.
yeah, I think
I came out of my apartment and videotaped the Grand Palace right there. That was one of the best locations ever, man. Jeez.
yeah, that was a very nice one. Yeah. Well, nice memories again.
Well, anyway, we can talk about all day and reminisce all day. So many memories, but we'll do that some other time. And this is not the last time you'll be guest in this podcast anyway. And so, but anyway, for now, Nanda, I want to thank you for supporting my festivals, for being
Always.
a good friend, you know, and you've always been there. And I just want to thank you for that.
Thanks to you. Thanks for making it possible.
All right, my dear. I'll see you soon. And ciao for now.
Take care, everyone.